right, we are live. I'm Ashley with Budgets Made Easy, and I have Scott and Shane from Qube Money, and we are going to talk about cash envelopes and digital cash envelopes, alternative to the printed cash envelope. So we are going to dive in, and if you have any questions at all, put them in the comments, and we are here to answer your questions. And if you're watching the replay, comment replay. And if you have any questions after we end, go ahead and put them in and we will answer them once we get back on Facebook. Let me make sure we are live. We are live and we have some people watching. If you can comment and let me know that you can hear me and see me, because sometimes I just talk to myself. So hopefully everybody can hear me and see me. All right, we got people jumping on. So we are going to talk about cash envelopes, specifically digital, but we're going to kind of compare the two from actual physical cash envelopes and compare it to digital cash envelopes and just using an app. So let's see, we don't have any questions yet. So basically with cash envelopes, you're, dividing up what you want to spend. And the idea is when the envelope is empty, you have to quit spending. That's the idea. It helps you stick to your budget. It helps you stay on track because cash is a little bit different mentally to spend compared to just swiping a card. So, allocating certain amounts for using cash is really a great way to stick to your budget because it helps you visually see how much you have left in that category. And then when that category is empty, you stop spending. Ideally, that's the trick to it sometimes, is to stop spending when the category is empty. But cash envelopes help you visually make that separation in your funds instead of just having all the money in there. And I'm so happy that Scott and Shane are here to speak with me about it because they have an alternative to the actual cash envelopes, the physical ones, because, I hear from people all the time, they're nervous about losing their money. They don't want to lose it, which I have done before. I've lost my cash envelopes before. They have a spouse or a partner. It's hard to share. Like, I've got the envelope, they need the envelope. It makes it hard to share with your spouse or your partner. And oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the third one that the people are always nervous about losing it.
You can't buy online.
Yeah. It's harder to buy online. That is a huge pain because, with the pandemic and everything, I'm doing all my grocery shopping online. And so I don't get my food envelope money cash out anymore. So it's a huge hassle. So can you just kind of give us a general idea as people jump on here, kind of like what you guys do and how the digital cash envelopes are better than the physical cash envelopes?
You said 3, and I think I've probably got like at least 7 more that I can think.
Well, I have the top 3 that I always say, and then my mind went blank.
Well, Scott, so like when she said I've lost my cash, my envelope before, like my heart sunk because I lost like several $100s once, and I was like, it was like the most sickening feeling because I was like, and I never found it. I did never find it. And so anyways, I felt it when you said that.
Oh yeah. Mine was only like $20, but still, I can't imagine losing hundreds of dollars. I would freak out.
Yeah. And, I do got to say, if there's anybody that's listening, in your audience who has tried the cash envelope system, like kudos to you. And, it's not an easy thing to do, but it's effective, and it works for a lot of people. So like by us talking about like, oh, hey, we have, a solution to solve that problem, by no way are we saying like you're doing something wrong or you shouldn't be doing cash envelope budgeting, because first and foremost, the fact that you're budgeting and conscious of your spending and doing that, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We just, want to present a different way to potentially optimize it and do it a little bit better. So there's a lot of benefits, even though there's some downsides to cash envelope budgeting.
Yeah, and we say that it takes Navy SEAL discipline.
Yeah.
It does. But there's no question, it is proven to be by far the most effective method of budgeting in the world. And actually, I was thinking about this. Growing up, this is kind of crazy. I'm nuts, but I'm the ninth of 12 children.
Ooh.
My dad was a teacher, mom was a stay-at-home mom. So, and somehow they always stayed out of debt. Like they lived within their means.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, it really was awesome. And they spent with cash, right? They wouldn't use the credit cards, and so they lived. And we went without a lot, but we had everything we needed, right? And it taught me it's not about how much you make; it's about really how you spend it that matters, right? But in the old days, you didn't have access to credit cards. I mean, before 1950, there wasn't even that there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever money you had, and when it was gone, it was gone. And so you're like, okay, I cannot run out a week before I'm paid, because if I do, we're not going to eat, right? We're not going to. And so it was just that's why it was so effective, because it was real, right? It was absolutely real. So I'll kind of jump in, if it's okay, Scott, and just kind of share. In studying cash envelopes, because it's something that we're very passionate about at this company, at Qube Money. We kind of posed the question early on: is it the actual physical cash that makes it so effective, or is it something else? And we've actually come up with three core fundamentals that make it so effective. And so the first is this idea of zero-based budgeting, giving every dollar a job, because then it compartmentalizes your money and it gives it organization and it gives it purpose.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then the second is that you look at your budget before you spend. The decision happens before you spend instead of afterwards. And so very quickly you make the decision, should I do this or not? And that's a really important thing, and it happens before the spend. So the second is look before you spend. And then the third is that your money and your budget are the same thing. And so when the money goes, you actually see it go. It's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one and the same thing. And when we define those three things, we're like, you know what? You can actually develop those three things digitally.
Absolutely.
Where you give every dollar a job, you have to look before you spend, and your money and your budget are the same thing. It's your bank and your budget are the same thing. So that's what we've done with Qube Money, is to replicate those things. The cool thing about that is now no more tracking, no more trying to figure out, does he have the money, or you know what I mean? Does the partner have it? No. And so it cuts out all of that tracking, counting, carrying change, carrying cash, not being able to spend online, inconvenience, going to the ATM machine, trying to budget $20 bills, right? All those things that we've all struggled with in using the cash envelope method of budgeting. So that stuff's all really, really fun and cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, because you don't have to go to the bank and get so many 10s, so many 5s, so many 1s. Like I was going to the bank every Friday with my little Post-it note for each denomination. And so, everybody shops online now, especially after the pandemic. Like everything is online. So it's so much easier to have that digital option. And you guys have designed it in such a way that it's still extremely effective, the same way that cash envelopes is, without the risk and all the other issues that come along with having like physical cash. So it's really helpful. We do have a couple questions here. Somebody's asking, what are digital cash envelopes? I cannot manage using cash all the time. It's just not feasible with my lifestyle, which is like what so many people tell me. I don't have time to go to the bank. I'm not going to go, to the grocery store and get all this cash back and all this stuff. And people have, did online banks, which you guys are actually an online bank. So what can you tell them, kind of like explain what the digital cash envelope system and how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, first off, Ashley, I would love to know, who in your audience has either done cash envelope budgeting and tried it, or is currently doing it right now.
Yeah, comment below what you're using.
I can see some comments on the Facebook page, but even in the Facebook group, if there's anyone out there who's done it in the past, or you're currently trying cash envelopes, maybe throw an emoji that has like a hand or a wave or something. And if you're watching this later, we'll be able to come back to this post and, you know, see that, so you could still comment. But it would just be cool to see, you know, how many people are using cash envelopes, because it's a tried and true method. Like Shane said, it's backed by, you know, hundreds of years of like research and helping people stick to a budget. But as we've seen, especially with 2020 and COVID, things continue to move digital. So you would expect there to be like a 21st century version of cash envelope budgeting. And so far, there really hasn't been a great option. A lot of the digital cash envelope budgeting apps or systems is still tracking after the fact, right? Mm-hmm. It's very much a manual process, but the cool thing is it does help people stay accountable, you know, because it is such a manual process and stuff. But like we've already discussed, going to the bank, losing money, you know, even like germs now on cash, people are worried about that kind of stuff. That's another reason. And basically, I believe it's Leah to answer her question on like, what are digital cash envelopes? It's essentially taking that exact same concept of giving every dollar a job. And I've actually got an envelope too, like you showed, Ashley, of like, it's a manual process of like writing down transactions throughout the month, and then, you know, starting the balance at the beginning of the month and then updating it at the end of the month is kind of a big hassle. And so what we've done at Qube Money is digitized that system in a banking and budgeting app. So your money and your budget become one. And it literally, when I go and spend, it feels like I'm pulling money out of a cash, like a digital cash envelope. And you can see the balance update in real time, and you know exactly how much you have left for the month. So there's more we could get into with exactly how the system works, but that's really at the base what we're trying to replicate is this system.
Hey, Ashley, do you mind if I share my screen? Or if you want to let my phone in, I could share my screen. I'll actually take you right into the app if you want, and we can kind of show you exactly how it replicates real cash envelopes. Or if that's not good for a live situation, I'm totally okay with that too. So
no, go ahead. I think I just changed the settings so that you can share.
Okay. Okay, so can we see this?
No. But it's my computer minded just.
Can you see it, Scott?
Yeah, it looks like I can see it.
Okay. Well, awesome.
Oh, there we go. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay. So this is actually a little bit older version of the app. It's a lot cleaner now, but it will really give the concept. So we are an FDIC chartered, well, we're partnered with an FDIC chartered bank called Choice Financial Group out of Fargo, North Dakota. And so they're the ones that actually hold the money, but our technology moves the money and controls the money, okay? So when you deposit money into Qube, it comes into what we call as the Qube Cloud. And this is just undistributed money. So this is like holding the money in your hands after you get it out of the bank before you've put it in your envelopes, okay? So that's what the cloud is. To spend that money and connect it to your bill cubes in your card, you first must allocate that money into a position of purpose, which is your cubes. And so you have, here I'm showing grocery cubes, an Amazon cube, dinner out cube, gas cube, and a trip to Costa Rica cube, okay? So these are just simply digital envelopes. And so when that money has been allocated into your cubes, now it's ready to spend, okay? As far as it has purpose, you've given it a job. And so this card is a special card. It's a default zero card. So if I try to process my card before I first open an envelope, it'll decline because there's no money connected to it. So in real time, I come to I open my Qube app, which is like Face ID really fast, and I touch that dinner out cube. That $80 is available on the card with about, I don't know how fast, 0.1 second. I don't know, immediately. And so then when I process the card, it returns back to a default zero. whatever's left over after the purchase goes back to the dinner out cube, and the transaction is ledgered. And that all happens in real time. You watch it happen right as the transaction happens. And so I know exactly how much money is left over for the rest of the month in that cube. Now, if I tried to spend $81, it would decline because I don't have that much money in the cube. Although it's easy to add money and make the decision, you know what, I don't need that much money in my Amazon cube. I'm going to put a little bit more in my dinner out, and you can make that also happens instantaneously. But so you can make decisions quickly, but it actually controls or manages your money per cube. And so money must be allocated, which is the first thing, zero-based budgeting. You have to look at your budget before you spend, because you actually look at it and you tap that dollar value to spend. And then your money and your budget are real. When the money's gone, it's gone. And so it creates that exact same methodology. And we've actually patented this technology so that people can be aware. Really what we're doing is we're reconnecting, or we're making connecting money and spending real again and much easier.
So how does it work once you say you want to use the dinner out cube? How long do you have until like how long do you have to swipe your card? Like, can you do it before you go out and you have like an hour, or does it need to be like right away?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's actually a default 30-minute timer that is set on the cube. So when you open it, it's open for 30 minutes, but you can actually change that. That's customizable. When you open the cube, you can change that to an hour, 2 hours, 1 day, 1 week, forever.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually govern how long that cube is open and how long that money is available. And you can actually also deselect close after purchase. So by default, after you purchase it, it closes the cube, returns the card to default 0. But if you want to say uncheck that, then it'll stay open even after you purchase, and you could go to the beach and leave your phone at home and just take your card and make as many purchases throughout the day, as long as there was enough funds in the cube to.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. That was a great question.
And then now stop me if you're going to explain this, but how does it work with like your partner or your family? I know you guys have some features coming soon that'll really like make that stuff a whole lot easier with using it for like your kids and your spouse and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to jump in and answer that question. So we've been making some big strides when it comes to a joint account feature. And what we've seen is, and we're all aware of this, that one of the number one causes of contention in marriage is financial reasons, right? It's about like who spent what, where, and trying to get on the same page. It's actually pretty easy to manage your budget as an individual. But then when you want to get serious about spending and you have a partner or somebody that's not aligned, it can cause some conflict, and it's definitely, a challenge in our day, especially as things move digital as well. And so, the founders, Shane is one of the founders, Ryan Clark, he's the CEO, he's one of the founders, and they, the mission that they've decided to pursue is to decrease the divorce rate by 1% by helping couples work together better with their finances, knowing that, money is one of the big causes of contention. So with that, for the past couple of months, we've been in beta testing out this joint account feature. And my wife and I, we've been using it for a couple months. And honestly, it makes a huge difference in how we communicate around our money. And it's not available to everybody right now. The app is available to everybody right now, but the joint account feature is a premium feature, and it's still in beta. But what's amazing about it is she gets a notification each time I spend, and vice versa. I'll get a notification if she spends, and it says like this amount was spent from this cube on this day, and it helps us be super aware of where the money's going. And I actually go into making a purchase knowing she's going to immediately know about it. And it helps us stay on the same page. Not that I would hide anything in the past, but I know there are some people in couples that maybe would hide purchases, and if the spouse never asks about it, then no harm done. But we do have that option to enable notifications to help couples be on the same page. So they each have their own login, their own card, but when they log into Qube, they see the exact same cubes and they can spend from them.
That's great. So if somebody were to join today, since this feature isn't fully available yet, but I know it is coming soon, how would they share? Can they just get 2 cards, or would they just share the same card?
Yeah, so you would create your own individual account, meaning each partner would create their own account, they'd get their own card, and then it's just a simple joining process afterward. So there's a primary account and a secondary account, and I don't want to go into like exact details of how it works, because once you try it, it's actually really straightforward and simple. But basically there's one main account and then there's the secondary account. And so by combining both accounts, you're able to spend from the same cubes. But yeah, each person has their own debit card.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's very helpful.
Yeah.
So
and you can actually turn off notifications if you want to.
some people might need to do that. That's a good point.
You can also add it to Apple Pay or Google Pay as well. So like if one partner doesn't want to carry around the debit card, you can just, spend from your phone as well too. So we've made it easy that way.
Awesome. And then it works like the same on Amazon or Walmart online. Like it's just same as using, your credit card or debit card or whatever you're using now, right?
Yeah, here's actually kind of a cool thing. So Amazon is a tough tech. Like they don't charge until they ship. Mm-hmm. So I can make a purchase now, and if I'm purchasing 4 different things, they can charge my card in an hour, in 5 hours, again tomorrow, and again 2 days from now, because there was 4 different items, right? Mm-hmm. So we actually created technology that makes all of that happen seamlessly, and keeps that money available so that the card can process even though it's not open, even though the cube's not open.
Oh, so great.
It's really secure, but it's the special Amazon methodology. And so it really makes so that you can spend just the same with Amazon, and it charges your card when those are shipped, and you don't have to open the cube. It just happens automatically. That also happens on your subscriptions and any of your bills that you pay with a card. We have a really cool technology that allows those to go through automatically with some simple rules. And it also allows you to turn off your subscriptions from your app. And so
nice.
Can't come and take your money just because they have your card and your number. So you can actually completely, it's I guess, really the latest technology and subscription controls there is.
That's awesome. Let's see. Julia just hopped on. She says, but does a person have to open a new bank account with the company, or can we use our existing bank?
Yeah, so
go ahead.
Like Shane mentioned, we do partner with a bank. Our partner bank is Choice Financial, and they, we do require you to open up a new bank account and transfer your money from your existing bank into Qube to be able to use our app. So yes.
And the reason why that's the case is if it wasn't that way, your money in your bank wouldn't be the same. We actually had to completely revolutionize the way you bank. So in order for banking and budgeting to truly be together, and for it to be real, we have to be the bank and the budget. So you would have to create a Qube Money bank account in order for this to work. But I will say that I still have my business Chase banking account. You know what I mean? It's not like you can have, most of us have different bank accounts that serve different purposes. And we use Qube Money for, at this point, all of our discretionary spending, our sync funds, our subscriptions.
Yeah, I have 4 different banks, all for different reasons. So, and I've opened up a Qube Money account. So it was really quick and easy to deposit the money. Like you just put in the card number that the money's coming from, and it was there instantly. So I don't think that would be an issue. But if somebody wanted to use Qube for all of their banking stuff, do you guys have can you still order checks or do online bill pay? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, there are some limitations because we are, a new bank. But if somebody did want to use Qube Money as their full bank, we do have that option. Like for me personally, I've been using Qube to pay all my bills, to do all my spending, and it works great. But you can't actually write checks or send checks or mobile deposit anything checks yet, even though that's been a big request we're getting because people still get checks all the time and pay via check. So that's the plan to offer some of those features. But like for anyone listening, like for your audience, it's not like we're asking like, oh, you need to completely switch over to your bank. Like you said, Ashley, you've got like 4 different banks for 4 different purposes. It could just be go make, a purchase, go test it out, like download the app, try it one time and just see like how this is so much different than anything else. So that'd be the biggest thing I would say is, I wouldn't worry about like using us as your full suite bank yet, but just, give it a try and see if you like it.
Yeah, and actually, let me add just a little bit to that. Just so the original dream, goal, vision of Qube Money was to provide a solution for discretionary spending. In fact, our first iteration of it was just a discretionary spending app because that's where people get in trouble. It's not usually with their bills. Those are automatic, right? But it's with discretionary spending. And we saw so many people that we cared about that were clients really struggling in the discretionary spending piece. So when we launched or released the initial version of Qube Money, January 29th, I think it was, Scott, it was because we fulfilled that mission, that vision is to be able to have someone to be able to have complete control over discretionary spending and their sync funds. And so we didn't have any bill cubes. Weren't able to do ACH and all of those things. Well, since then we've added joint accounts. We do have bill cubes that handle card payments. We're currently developing the ACH payments. So ACH payments are when someone else, like your insurance company, has your account number and your routing number, and they can come in and take that premium each month or whatever payment, right? Same thing with your mortgage. So we don't do that. We can do it, but we don't do it in the digital envelope methodology yet. It has to come from your cloud, and it's a little messy. So to be honest with you, I already have that set up with my Chase account. So I haven't changed any of my bills. They are all set automatically with that account. But what I have done is transferred all my discretionary spending, subscriptions, and sync funds over to Qube. And let me just kind of share something that's happened to us. It's crazy. Okay, so my wife and we have 8 children. So also a really large family. Our oldest is 18. Our youngest is 1. And we are so busy with sports and activities and music and dance and all these things. And so we have struggled to budget. I'll be really honest with you. Even though that's what I believe in and so forth, we've struggled to budget because every minute seems to be filled with something, right? And we've attempted at least a dozen times in a marriage to get a spreadsheet, track our spending, and we were good at first, and then we would slowly get slower and slower at tracking them, and then it would be a week, and then it would be a month, and we're like, this is not working, we quit. So that happened over and over, and we actually really fell in love with the Southwest credit card because we could get free companion passes if we used all our business purchases and our individual purchases, and then we would get about 5 or 6 free round trip tickets a year, and we love to travel. Okay, so that's like $6,000, well, maybe $4,000, $5,000 a month in rewards. So, anyways, when Qube Money was released, we're like, we're going to keep using our rewards cards, and we're just going to do a few things over here. But we've heard this statistic that you spend 15 to 20% more if you use a credit card. And we're like, that is not us. We don't spend very much. We really don't. We're like frugal. And so we're like, that's not us. So, but finally we're like, okay, we're just going to give this a try and see really what this will do for us. So we went all in with Qube with, like I said, our discretionary spending, sync funds. and our subscriptions that you can pay with card. And we started October 1st. So we kind of played with it in August, September, and then we're like, okay, we're going to do this. And we put all, do you know that we've saved over $20,000?
That's amazing.
6 months. And I did not think we were overspending, but I am totally sold that we were spending 15 to 20% more by using the Southwest credit card. It's crazy. For the first time, we actually have a money for our I can never think of it, our deductible on our health insurance. We've never had it. We're like, if that happens, it's happened to us twice, we had to put it on a credit card and then pay off the credit card. But for the first time, we have enough money for a deductible. It's like crazy. It feels so good. And like money for trips and just different things. It's organized. And like, seriously, after this month, after we pay for our expenses this month, we'll have over $20,000 in our Qube Money account in the different categories that you know, we feel are important because of using this. And so like, we will never use a credit card again. We won't. And so, and we're actually totally on the same page, and it takes us less than 10 minutes a month to be totally on the same page with our budget, which has been amazing for us. It's the first time it's worked.
That's awesome. And I hear from people all the time that, you know, they went from just like you, just swiping a card, not really, you know, paying attention or knowing where your money's going. And then when they're like being intentional with it, like they save on average $500 a month, like that they didn't even know they had. And I was the same way. Whenever I owed the IRS like thousands of dollars, and I was like, how am I going to pay this? But then once I started doing the zero-based budgeting and figuring out like where my money's been going, which is in my mouth, you know, eating out way too much, you know, I was like, oh, I can pay this off. So what is great about the envelopes, and especially the digital envelopes, is you know, there's trackers on the back of these, but I don't track my cash spending. I don't have time for that. I've got 3 kids too, and I'm running all over the place, and I don't have time for that. So if you just use like the digital cubes, you don't have to track it. And just like you said, if it's all the discretionary spending, like I'm not changing over on my bill pay and doing like, it's been set up for years. I'm not messing with it. It's all the same. Like, you know, this would be for, like you said, the extra stuff, the things. Cash envelopes are really great for things that you overspend on all the time. Food, eating out, those types of things. Like if you need to rein in the spending, use envelopes because you're more intentional with it. You can see like how much you have left. And that's what's great about the app. So like even with the cash envelopes, like the actual cash, I mean, I would go somewhere and then I'd have to sit there and count because like I said, I didn't track it. So I'd have to sit there and count, okay, how much money do I have left in the cash? But with the app, you can just see it, which makes it so much easier. And since, you know, you can use it online and everything, you don't have to use your credit card. So you like have to say, oh, I do have this money, I can spend it right now. Where before you could just swipe the card, I'll worry about it later. I pay it off every month. It's fine.
That was so us.
That's me too. And then, you know, there was times that I got behind. I'm like, you know, pay off the credit card. Well, now I have no money left for food and gas. So then I have to swipe the card again. So then you're behind. But, you know, I always paid off the credit card. So this really helps you not do that. And I know there's so many people that, you know, they don't want to use the actual cash. And I mean, there's just, you know, nobody had cash for how many months? Like it seemed like forever last year, like nobody was even taking cash. So this solves like all of those issues and makes it so that you're more intentional with your spending. Like you said, you have to actually see that you have the money and won't let you overspend. Like, so you have to either transfer it and make that decision. So the biggest thing with like limiting overspending is to kind of create that gap between your spending and or like shopping and then the spending. So this gives you that little bit of gap to make that decision. Okay, I really am going to spend this money. And I know for me, at least in my experience, like when I was going to the grocery store to shop, I would put stuff back. Like, I'm like, oh, I really don't need this. Like, I don't actually want this. Like by the time it came to pay. So that like, it still helps you with that.
Yeah. Totally. And for me, similar to Shane, and like I've used credit cards for everything for the past couple of years just because of the rewards. But what I realized is there was no concept of limit. Like, sure, you could say, oh, I'm going to, pay everything off at the end of the month. But like you said, I would never put anything back. Like, I would just get what I needed. And then, you go to the end of the month and then you kind of realize like, we probably overspent in this area. And then you kind of have to make up for it. But with Qube, it's like, I literally will put things back. Like, there's been multiple times where I'm like, yeah, I don't really need that. And I'll put it back. Or it's like, if I need it, or if I think I need it, where's the money going to come from? Because there's not enough money in my digital envelope. So like, it's a big game changer just because of like the psychological, benefit of having to really think about limits. And I think that's what's so powerful about the cash envelope system, is that idea of limiting yourself, because usually the one keeping us from reaching our financial goals is ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing I did want to mention, because you mentioned sinking funds, and a lot of people may not know what that is. And sinking funds are just savings accounts for things that don't come up like every single month. So like property taxes, your vehicle registration, maybe summer camp, Christmas, holidays, birthdays, those things that you need to save for and put money back for, but it's not happening this month, so I'll do it later. Sinking funds are for that purpose. And what I love about this system, so I have one of my banks is for that, but they're savings accounts. So I only have one debit card, which is to one checking account. So then I have to transfer the money to that checking account. You can only do like 6 transactions in a month. So this really makes it so much easier. So whenever you go to like buy Christmas gifts, you've already got the money there. You can just use the same card. Like, I don't have to transfer between bank accounts and then from that account to my regular checking account and then wait for the money so I can spend on Christmas. So it makes that whole process a whole lot easier for you as well, compared to the old way of having like 10 different bank accounts and moving the money around so you can spend it.
Yeah. And actually it's so cool because like it says Christmas. And every month you're watching it grow and you're like, wow, this is going to be awesome Christmas, right? I mean, because it's just for Christmas, instead of being like, okay, this bank account is for all of my sync funds. I don't really know what's for what, but this is what it's for. It's like just for Christmas. And you can watch it like, wow, it's $2,000. Oh, it's, you know what I mean? Whatever that is, so it really is, that's really cool. And, one of the things that I think is interesting as we've communicated with our audience is they're like, oh man, but it's such a nuisance to be able to before you spend, to have to go onto your app and tap to spend. I just want to pull out my card and spend. But the interesting thing is all of us that are budgeters would then spend time afterwards categorizing or recording or whatever. And I'm just going to tell you, it takes way less time and it's way more convenient for me to go and for it to spend everything else be taken care of than for me to sit an hour on Sunday with Carissa saying, okay, what was this for?
Yeah.
What was this for? What was this for? And this is what we would do, trying to keep like, oh man, we went over in this area. And then we would feel guilty. Now we never go over. It's always pre, and it takes so much less time. So anyways, I just shared that because I don't know if that like relates to people, but that was our experience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I hear from people, because I teach people to track their spending and stuff, and people don't want to do it because it takes time and you have to like, oh, I don't want to see where my money went. But it's so important to know where your money's going. With this method, you separate it out first and then you spend, you don't have to worry about it. Like, it makes it so much easier and faster.
Yeah. And almost better than not having to track your spending is the non-guilty spending aspect of it. So like, for example, like when you have the money set aside and it's for Christmas, you're like, let's go spend all this on Christmas. Or like, if you have it set aside for a trip, you can go on a trip and just feel like, you've got money to spend. And it's just, I think that's a huge benefit to the product, is helping you feel like it's, you've got money that's non-guilty spending when you have something that you value and you don't have to track.
Yeah.
And so can I share something so cool, real life? Okay, so this year is my wife and I's 20-year anniversary. So it's a special anniversary, okay? And anyway, so we want to do something bigger. And because we've put $200 a month in our date night Qube, we don't never spend $200 a month. I mean, we go out to eat maybe once or twice, and there's always like $100 or whatever left over. We have about $1,000 in there, which is like a really nice getaway, right?
Heck yeah.
And we have it because of Qube. Anyway, so it's been like fun. We've like been planning what restaurants we're gonna go to and what we're gonna do, and it's been really fun. So anyways, it's kind of cool how it's like it really is that way, and we don't feel guilty about spending the $1,000. Before we're like, oh, that's $1,000. I don't know if we should do that. But because we've been setting it aside and we've watched it grow and we've planned it, we're like excited to go spend $1,000 on celebrating 20 years of marriage and have a lot of fun. Anyways, it's cool.
Yeah, congratulations. And that's awesome, because you don't have to like wonder where the money's going to come from, or if you spend it, you may need it for something else. Like if I spend this money on this trip, what if I need it for Christmas, or what if we need it for vehicle maintenance? But if you're already planning and have the money in those cubes, then it's already taken care of. And that's a really, it takes some practice and some time and a mindset shift to get there, because you may be like, oh, well, I only have, this much in my checking account, but then you remember, oh, that's because all the money's over there. It's already planned. Like this is just there.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah. And I'll give you an example of a sinking fund. One of the many that I have is once a year, we all know that we have to register our cars. Mm-hmm. It's like, that is an expense coming up, but it always, like, the month you have to go register, it's like, oh, okay, where's this money going to come from? And that's what happened to me last year. I was like, oh yeah, registration. So then when I paid it, I was like, okay, this cost me about $100 to register the car in the state that I'm at. So I'm going to put like $15 a month into a Qube for the next year. And, when it comes time to register my car, I've got the money. Well, I have to register my car this month, and I've already got over $100 in there, just sitting there ready to use to register the car. And it's just little things like that if you can plan for and plan ahead, then it just makes other things a lot easier, knowing that you've got money set aside for different purposes, versus it's just those small things. Like if you're setting aside a few dollars a month for different purposes and you do the zero-based budgeting, like you just feel organized. You just feel like I've got my financial crap together.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't have to stress about it or worry about it. And especially if you're not having to track all this stuff, it's just like a weight lifted off of your shoulders. So
yeah,
that's pretty amazing. Let's see if we have any other questions. Oh, Linda would like the app in Puerto Rico.
I'm
Puerto Rico.
I'm actually going to Puerto Rico next month, so then I'll bring it to you. I'm just kidding. So it is actually for only U.S. based. I mean, I know Puerto Rico's U.S. territory, but it is for U.S. only residents or citizens right now. So
yeah, I didn't even think to ask that. Let's see. I think we answered all of the questions. And I know there was another thing that popped in my head when you were talking about sinking funds, and now I forgot what it was. But if it comes to me, I'll pop it in here. So let's see. So Georgia asked earlier, do you lump like categories together for using the cash envelopes? And for me personally, and you guys can give me your opinion as well, it kind of depends. Like what I see people like, a lot of people just overthink it. So for example, if I get something on a regular basis at Walmart, like shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, all that kind of stuff, it goes in my grocery budget. I'm not going to have two separate budgets for household items and then for food. So try not to overthink it. But for like my kids, for example, I have a kids category, but then I also have categories for like dance and gymnastics. Like I separate that out because it's more of like a bill. So I know I need to pay it. But like the general category of kids could be like clothes, school supplies, things like that. Or you can make it more subcategorize more and do like one for school supplies and do one for summer camps, things like that. So it's really what you want, but try not to overthink it. Like if you get something at the grocery store every month, like go ahead and put it in your grocery category. But on the flip side of that, like if I'm getting clothes or gifts and things at Walmart, I will just do a separate transaction for that stuff. But like for the general household stuff, it's just going to come out of my grocery budget.
That's exactly what we do, Ashley. So that's exactly what we do.
Oh, whoops. Hang on.
Yeah, and I guess along that line, it looks like Deanna had a couple questions about like what is the cost and how many envelopes can you have? And so I guess going off what you were talking about, Ashley, having different categories or groups and envelopes. So the cost is the high price of free 90 free. So you could actually get started for free. There is a limit, but actually right now, because we are rolling out some premium features and some joint account features, everything that's available right now is for free. We're not actually charging anybody to use our services, but we do plan to start charging for premium features, in the summer at some point. But right now you could literally create 1,000 cubes, if you wanted to, if you had that many categories. We actually have one user that's got like over 150 cubes. I don't know like why, but like me personally, I think I've got around like 30 cubes. But yeah, you could create right now as many as you want at no extra cost. But then down the road, there will be a cost for more than 10 cubes.
So go download it today before that changes. Go get it for free and start doing your cubes.
Yeah,
we'd love to help you. And just kind of so you have accurate expectations. So long term, you're going to be able to have 10 cubes for free. So there's going to be a basic version, which will, like I said, it's free, includes 10 cubes, checking, debit card, payday 2 days early if you set up direct deposits, peer-to-peer transfers, kind of like Venmo style, that you can move money cube to cube person to cube person. And there's no account fees, no minimum balance fees, no transaction fees. There's no fees.
Well, overdraft fees, because you can't overdraft.
Yeah, no
right?
overdraft fees, no statement fees. So it's literally free banking. We even reimburse you up to $10 a month on ATM fees. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So it truly is a free version. And then actually, do you want me to here? I'll share my screen one more. You can kind of see what's coming. That's kind of fun. So this is kind of a little bit of the roadmap. Now, don't be like we share this with people and they're like, I want it now. This is a development in process and we're releasing things as quickly as we can. But so we're already doing the companion cards, which is really joint accounts. By this fall, we hope to release the teen and kid cards, which allows you to share family budget funds with kids to spend on their cards. They'll also have their own account with parent view, parent permissions, chore tracking, some really cool things to help kids understand that money's real. We already have the peer-to-peer transfers. We already have the subscription controls. We already have payday 2 days early. We will also have Roundup investing or Roundup to save for your goals or round up a transaction to pay off debt, whatever you want. And then also high yield savings and the debt elimination. So that there will be ultimately an automated debt elimination system that pays off your debt for you.
Nice.
So a lot of really fun features. And I also will say, don't have this listed, but in-app notes. So you can tag notes to transactions, upload receipts, share lists, all sorts of things to make it kind of a lifestyle app when it comes to finances so people can work together. Okay. Friends, family, couples, whatever's you, right? So anyways, there's some really cool things coming forward in the app that we're really excited about that we think will be game changers for people.
That's awesome. And then let's see, I will show you. So let's see, Deanna was asking how to sign up. So you can just go to the App Store, Qube Qube Money, search for Qube Money and download the app there. And then you can also go to the website and sign up as well. And then I believe you guys had some free, a free course. Was it Qube? Oh, shoot.
Qube Masters.
Yes, Masters. I knew it was the M. I was trying to remember what it was. Qube Masters to get some free information there as well.
Yeah, there's actually, there is a price to that, but there's a 14-day free trial. And it teaches you exactly how to set up the app and stuff like that. So, and really, it's based on the book Atomic Habits, if you've heard of that by James
I
Clear.
love that book. I'm like in the middle of it. I've been reading it. Like, it's so good.
It is so good. So anyways, it's organized in 5-minute lessons and 5-minute activities that are scientifically designed to change behavior. And so that's the course, and it's a lot of fun. It really, we just recently had a lady go through that's taken 50 courses. Why would you ever take 50 courses? She took 50 courses. And she said, this is by far the best course I've ever taken, financial course I've ever taken in my life. It really gave me hope and gave me.
That's awesome.
So anyways, encourage you to check it out.
And is Qube Masters an app or just on the website?
It's just on the website.
Okay. And it's qubemasters.com, correct?
Yeah, with an S. Yep, qubemasters.com. Yes.
And it's also cube with a Q, not a C. So it's
Oh, yes, that's important.
That's the church.
You're wondering what the circle is.
Yeah, Q looks a lot better than a C. No, I'm just kidding.
I like it. All right, let's see if there's any. I don't think there was any other questions. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any. And then, of course, if you are watching the replay, comment replay so we know you're watching, and let us know if you have any questions going forward as well. Let's see. And you can also, because I did it this way as well. So for me, I don't like signing up for things on my phone because I like hit the wrong button all the time and I hate typing with my thumbs. You can sign up online. Like if you're like me and you want to like be able to type your information in, you can sign up online and then download the app and sign in. Cause I did mess it up the first time. I had a typo in my name. So, so then I online.
Just FYI, if you get the app, download the app and you don't have a Qube Money bank account, you can't use the app because it's a banking app. It's kind of like having the Chase app without a Chase account. So you literally do have to go through the account creation process to use the app. So if you do download the app from the App Store, you're going to say create an account or whatever. And I can't remember the exact word right now. But anyways, and it'll send you to create an account, the account creation process to input your information. And since we are a bank, I guess I should say this too, like we follow all the regulations, the bank regulations to confirm that you're really you. This protects your identity. So we do gather personal information like birthday and social security because we have to make sure you're you, because fraud is really prevalent in our world. So. And
is it a Visa or a MasterCard debit card?
Visa.
Visa. And how hard is it to transfer funds from my bank to the Qube?
Really easy. I mean, we give you 4 ways. There's, you could transfer it with an instant card deposit is what we call it. So if you wanted to get money in today, you could enter in some debit card information and then the funds would become immediately available. You can also connect to your bank account via a third-party service we use called Plaid, which is a very popular system to make it really easy. You just log into your existing bank and then you can transfer funds from your bank, and that typically takes about 3 business days. There's also another way you could do it. You could log into your other bank and set up Qube Money as an external bank account by just providing your routing and account number. And then lastly, which I think is the easiest, most effective way to do it, is you can actually set up direct deposit. So you could give, your routing and account number to your employer, and we actually pay 2 days early. So if you normally get paid on a Friday, if you set up direct deposit with Qube Money, you can actually get your money on a Wednesday.
That's awesome. And I didn't know that was a thing until at my last job, we had direct deposit. And this guy was talking about he got it paid on like Wednesday. I'm like, what are you talking about? We don't get paid till Friday. His bank gave it to him like 2 days early. It's like, what? So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
when you actually go onto the app and go to your planning screen and deposit money, it like walks you, like it really makes setting up direct deposit so easy. Like you can fill in your information, it emails you a completed direct deposit form that you can just send to your accounts payable or payroll department at your company. And it's like this. You can even define, I want this much, 30% of my money to go to Qube and the other 70% to go to my other bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whatever.
a lot of people don't realize that you can split up. Well, I think most
companies will do that. You're right.
Yeah, I was gonna say most. Maybe not everybody will do that for you, but most places will, especially if it's a big corporation or a big business or something.
Yeah.
Betty, the book is Atomic Habits by James Clear, and you can get it on Amazon. How long does it take to transfer funds to Apple Cash? Oh, there you go. Mine's at home because I'm reading it. So I had it here for a while. That's awesome. That book is really, really good. And it's like everything in there. I'm like, oh, this applies to money. This applies. So we actually read it as part of our book club in my membership group last month. So that was our book for last month. It was really good. Oh, sorry. I'll repeat the question. How long does it take to transfer funds to Apple Cash? Or is it, Apple's just your wallet, right? So it would just be the card number in there, right?
Yeah, so there's a difference between Apple Cash and Apple Pay.
Oh, okay.
Apple
I did not know that.
Is what you would use to like actually check out, and then it would pull the funds from Qube. Looks like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's Qube Money with Apple Pay. Apple Cash, I believe, is a separate thing in your mobile wallet that you can actually spend from. And it would just apply like to any other bank account. So if you were transferring funds from Qube to Apple Cash or from Apple Cash to Qube, same thing what I mentioned earlier with connecting it to your bank.
Awesome. And let's see here. I think that was it so far. So you can download the app for free in the App Store, and it's Android and Apple, right? Like anybody can use it. You just have to be in the US. And then you can use your debit card and get the money instantly. Just put like $25 in there, test it out, wait for, now whenever they are, like if they sign up today, can they use it before they get their debit card, or will they have to wait the like 7-10 days or whatever for their debit card?
Nope, you can use immediately. You can upload the virtual card to your Apple Wallet or your Google Wallet and use it immediately.
Good to go.
So and on the instant card deposit, it actually is, because of fraud, it's limited to one transfer using that, and it's between $25 and $100. But it allows you to get money in immediately. Use it while you set up, because if you use Plaid, 3 to 5 business days if it's over a week. 3 to 5 days if it's over a weekend seems like a long time with money, and we will shorten that time period. That's another thing with new banks. There's different nuances that we have to work through to build trust and all that stuff. So it takes just a little bit longer. And when you set up an external transfer, that's actually the way I prefer. Actually, I do direct deposit now, but I preferred setting up an external transfer or an external account from Chase into Qube, because I could put more money in and I could schedule it, like to do it every month or every 2 weeks. So I actually preferred that. And then it took only 1 business day, and it was in. So anyways, maybe it is 2 business days. It's 2 business days. But, yeah.
And Shaya, how many envelopes can you create? So right now it's unlimited, but once the premium features go live, it'll be 10 for the free account, right?
And then unlimited for the premium. That's correct.
Unlimited for the premium. 10's really a lot. I was trying to think of how many I actually have. I have a lot of accounts, but for like my sinking funds, I think I have like 6 or so. So 10's a good amount that you can use. don't overthink it. Cause like you said, 150, that's overthinking things. That's too much. That's a bit
Let's be
much.
honest.
He was probably just trying to test the limits, right? I mean,
Probably like, how many of these can I do?
don't overthink it. Just, it's really simple, and just give it a try, and nothing crazy.
Ashley, I'll send you a link to the book. What is the fee for the premium, and when do you think it will go live?
The premium will go live in June. We're projecting. We actually really believe that it'll go live in June, and it'll be $8 a month. And I guess let me just really quick define what the premium features are. You can find this on our website, but the premium features will give you all the automation. So when your check comes in, it'll automatically go into your cubes, and there's some really cool
Nice.
budgeting and so forth. So it makes that all automated. It gives you subscription controls to be able to shut off your bill cubes from your end. It gives you the roundup option. It'll give you the ability to automatically sweep money that's left over in a cube into another cube that you want it to go, all automated. It gives you the companion or the joint account so that you can work with as partners or couples. Did I miss anything? Ultimately, it'll give you high yield. High yield is 0.5% right now, so we're not very concerned. But anyway, so
that's a little better than it was.
Yeah, well, yeah, 0.35%.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, there and the in-app notes, and all those things will come with the premium, and then ultimately there will be a family account, which will give you everything I just talked about, plus up to 10 kid cards for my family, as well as like a lot of the additional features, parent permissions, parent view, parent notifications, so you can really mentor your children, and then chore tracking and make it fun for kids.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited about that. So you could like pay them for chores and stuff like that, and they'll have their own card and everything.
And own envelopes, and they'll be able to learn cash envelope budgeting.
That's awesome. All right. I don't see any other questions. Let's see. Sharon says, I started physical envelopes and I'm already going over budget. So, this will help you a little bit more, because you'll have to like physically see how much you have in there. Like I talked about earlier with like the cash, I have to sit there and count before I go in the store, see how much cash I actually have left, because I don't track it. Shaya says, thank you so much. This is so great. So you're welcome. I'm very excited about using it, and I'm still waiting on my card. So I haven't fully used it yet, but I will be sharing a video and my experience with it once I get all that finished up. But like I said, I just used the debit card, put $25 in there so I could see, how it worked and everything. And I love it. Like, I love it so much better than the online, like having so many different sinking fund accounts and all that stuff. So I'm really excited to put it to use, and I will share all of that with you guys whenever I get that done, hopefully in the next week or so, because I did it. Yeah, I should get the card here like any day. So, because I did it, I think last week, or maybe a little over. I'm excited to use it. So I'm like so excited to like get it all set up and stuff. So it'll be so much easier than, like I said, I don't track the cash, and then my husband needs it. And it's just, I haven't used cash now in like a year because the pandemic, threw that all off. And so I just haven't even got back to using like actual cash. So this will just make it easier for me not to have to deal with that.
Wow.
All right. I don't see any other questions. You guys have any final comments?
I guess final parting thoughts is just, if you've used the cash envelope budgeting system before, or even if you haven't, you're just looking for a way to budget better, to save better, to reach those financial goals, right? Like finances are a big part of our everyday lives. If you're just looking to improve that, download the app, deposit $25 and go make one purchase and just try it. And, that's all we're asking, but if not, no worries.
Yeah. And I'll also say, just from the heart of this company, if you want to join something that is going to really make a difference in the world, we see that, if you look at the consumer debt balance from 1950 when the credit card was invented to today, we just passed $14.3 trillion in consumer debt. And if you go back even 2018, it was only 4 trillion. So this pandemic has made it's almost quadruple or tripled, that balance. And one of the most important things we can do as a society is spend responsibly to get our finances. It's fundamental to our stress levels. It's fundamental to our freedom. And that's really what this company is all about, to create a movement to help people reconnect spending and money so that they can live financially healthy lifestyles, and eliminate the stress, make marriages better, make life better, So that's really what we're about. And if you want to join that mission, come with us. We're not perfect. We're trying to get better. There's going to be problems, but we've got a great customer support team. We really care about you and we care about people. And this is going to help change the world in this way. So.
Absolutely. I love what you guys are doing. And I just love this app and the whole concept behind it, because I know there's so many people that want to do cash envelopes, but they don't want to deal with cash. And this just makes it so much easier, so much easier. And it gives you all those benefits. So if you're curious about it, if you're tired of using cash, or you just want to kind of check it out and see if it may work a little bit better for you. And that's what I try and stress to people, is to figure out what works for you. So, you may like this for a lot of things, and you may still want to use a little bit of cash for some other categories, and that is fine. It's all about figuring out what works for you and getting in that good routine with those habits and figuring out what you want to do with it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be you don't have to do it perfectly. I see so many people get caught up in the right way to do things, and it doesn't have to be a right way. Whatever works for you is the right way. So, if you've been holding back on using cash envelopes and you're still overspending and you need to get that intentional practice, use the digital envelopes and just go ahead and try it out today. You don't have to go drive to the bank. You don't have to count out your cash. You don't have to figure out where to put it and print out cash envelopes and all the things. Just download the app, add in a little bit of money, and test it out. And it's really a great alternative to actual physical cash envelopes. So go download the app and try it out.
Well said.
Yeah, well said. Hey, Qube Masters will help you. Seriously, Qube Masters will the education of the app purposefully hasn't been put in yet because we wanted to see where people are getting stuck. And we've been adding features instead of adding education. Qube Masters provides that education for you at this point. And like I said, the part you get is free. It's free to help you set it up. So anyways, and the education is actually coming here very soon within the app, the tours and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you're watching the replay, comment replay. If you have any other questions, we'll come back and check the comments, and I'm sure they will be happy to answer any questions that you have. And thanks for your time. I appreciate you guys for coming and explaining how to use the digital cash envelopes.
Thank you, Ashley. It's been awesome being with you.
Thanks, everyone.